My very first video here on TikTok was about the UN 2030 agenda. Today, let's talk about the UN 2030 agenda's 17 SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, or you might as well just call them the Sudden Destruction Goals. You see, I know a thing or two about the UN. I actually have a degree in business and diplomacy, so I had to study so many modules about that, well, at least I know the ins and outs of that stuff. And let me tell you, they masquerade as something good, but that agenda is just pure evil. The Bible says that Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light, but we should marvel not, because the intentions, they are ill intended. They make it seem like they want the good of humanity, they want the best for all of us, right? But in reality, it's all just a part of the beast system. So let's take a look at the very first one of the 17 SDGs. So the very first one on the list, no poverty. And what does that really mean? Welfare dependence, communism, redistributing goods, and saying that those who are in poor countries, they're in that situation because those who are in, developed countries, they don't give enough aid. Number two, zero hunger. What do they really mean with that? Well, they're gonna use that as an excuse to use GMOs and all kinds of chemicals to increase the production. They're gonna have food rationing. They're gonna have this no meat policy. They will tell you that you cannot eat meat. Basically, you have to eat bugs and whatever they tell you to eat. Number three, good health and well-being. Yeah, good health according to who? What is good health to then? Exercising and eating right? No, good health to then is, the snake bites. You know what they have been pushing for the past previous years, and you see all kinds of people are dropping like flies. Well, this is their good health. Number four on the list, quality education. Quality. According to who? According to the people who are pushing that LGTB agenda to children, the evolution theory to children, teaching them what they want not to know, and exposing them to evil. That is their quality education, and that's gonna be forced upon schools. I mean, it already has been on some. Just imagine that in a worldwide scale. Up next, we have gender equality. There is no such thing as gender equality. God created us man and woman. We don't have to compete against one another, we have to complete one another. Men can do things that women cannot, and women can do things that men cannot. Simple as pie. But just another excuse to push this whole LGTB agenda and to destroy patriarchy, try to destroy hierarchy in the families and destroy families in general. Now we have clean water and sanitation. Basically another excuse to just, start with the water rationing, just like they already have in some places. They have that in South Africa. They'll have to dictate people how much they can even shower, basically. That's how much they want to control you. Now we have affordable and clean energy. Well, other words for smart grid surveillance. Decent work and economic growth. Basically means no property rights. That's how they dictate their economic growth, how good the economy is for them. They want to control everything. Just look at the government in the EU, for example, how much they want to dictate how people live. Industry, innovation, infrastructure. Yeah, right. Basically, that means slave labor. And they're gonna have a cap on what workers can or cannot do. They won't be allowed to do overtime on their own, only when they are told to do. Basically, already happening. Alright, number 10, we have reduce inequalities. Well, that's a fancy way of saying communism, reduce inequalities, so there won't be rich and poor. Everybody will just be poor, right? They already said that people will own nothing and be happy. Yeah, that's right in people's faces. Sustainable cities and communities. Just look at the 15-minute cities that they already have planned out. People have to obey everything that they tell them to do, otherwise it won't be sustainable according to them, right? Responsible consumption and production. You know that these are not suggestions, right? These are mandates. Who's going to take the responsible? They're gonna mandate people to do what they want. So basically they control that with the one world currency, with these one world digital ideas that they already have planned out. Up next at number 13, we have climate action. With this big all seeing eye, right? They adding just insult to injury. Climate action, the same people who told us way back that the world would be destroyed by the year 2000. They want to ration everything. They will be able to dictate national and even international emergencies, and they are gonna be the ones who determine it. Life below water. Basically, that's wildlife control. People won't even be allowed to fish anymore. Life on land. Basically, controlling resources. They won't be allowing people to even camp. And hunting? Forget about it. Peace, justice, and strong institutions? Well, Mr. Klaus Schwab already said that the only way to have peace, according to Ten, is with ongoing wars. With wars with both sides being funded by the same people. Finally, we have partnership for goals. Well, partnership, basically a one world government, strengthening. You know that in the book of Daniel it talks about the covenant with many. That's a foreshadow of things to come.